Was good, and then right before the season started, we had those injuries. We just told the team, hey, it is what it is, and we gotta fight through it. And we're going to win with what we have, and the coaches believe, and it just might not be as easy. I mean, it's going to be tough, and somebody's got to step up, and for the most part, that's what they've done.
You expect to get Hunter Wilson back in it pretty soon, or what?
Yeah, he's still limping around pretty good, but nothing's broke. It's just a severe bone bruise, and I've taken him both of those trips, even though I knew he wasn't going to play. I think he's a good teammate, and I want him in the dugout. I think he helps us in other ways, motivating kids, and he took a few ground balls the other day, and he was pretty sore at the game. And I don't think he'll be ready again this weekend. I don't know if he'll be on the 27-man, but at home you can put guys in the dugout, more guys, so we might throw another pitcher on there. But I'm thinking not this weekend, but the next week he'll probably be just about ready to get back out there.
Concerned about Trevor Stephan? Is there anything mechanical he's doing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're concerned because he's got an electric fastball, but like anybody, if you're not throwing it where you want it, they're going to hit it. And his reputation is like Blaine Knights. He's going to throw it over the plate, and so they swing. And the first inning he got him out real quick because they swung, and the second inning, first pitch double down the line, pitch was supposed to be away, it ended up being in, and it just kind of continued, and he didn't recover. I just hope the last couple of weeks have been a big learning experience for him, and he has only been pitching like 3 years, and being on the road, it didn't go good. So hopefully he'll bounce back and get into the game this Saturday.
What do you think about what Blaine's giving on Friday nights, in particular the lack of walks?
Well, I mean, we couldn't have really asked him to pitch better at the beginning of the season. The first 3 conference series has been, pretty much lights out. And, the fact that he doesn't walk people, but he also hits his spots and he mixes his pitches. And, Blaine's demeanor on the mound is so different than it was last year. I mean, he's a confident guy, and he got a little attitude out there, and that's what you have to have if you're pitching on the weekend in this league. And then it even has to be a notch higher when you're pitching on Friday.
The fact that you've been able to grind out the Sunday wins, how important has that been for your conference record?
It's huge. I mean, that's the difference in, being 1-2 in the first 3 series wins, or us being 3-0. I mean, if we lose those 2 Sunday games, we just okay start, and that puts you over the top. Where, if you have a bad weekend or 2. And things are going to happen. I mean, it's tough. It's a grind. You got 21 games left. Those were really big wins for us.
I think when you were here the last time, you were talking about how Vitello and Spanberger have been working together, and it just wasn't coming together yet. And he seems like he's really put it together the last 2 or 3 weeks. What have you thought about him?
Well, they have worked extremely hard together. Tony's worked hard with all of our hitters, and Josh Elander. Those guys spend so much time with those guys. And, I think Chad he had a great summer. He had a really good fall, and then sure enough, he gets off to a bad start. So, it looks like, oh, here we go again. Another guy that, can't get it done in the spring. But we knew it was in there. I mean, his at bats the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks have been really good for the most part, and he's a scary guy to pitch to because he can hit a single now, which is good to see him go the other way. But if you make a mistake, he can hit a ball, like he did at Missouri a couple times, it went out of sight. So it's been really big for our lineup. I think it's just been big for his confidence that he's doing well now, and I don't see him going the other way.
Has that been a work with him to tell him not to try to crush every pitch, that he can take it?
Yeah, I mean, that's been the main focus, is stay through the ball. In batting practice, stay through the ball. We make him hit the ball to center field a lot of his rounds. And when you stay through the ball, you're naturally going to pull some, but you're also going to be able to go the other way. And he can miss hit balls and hit them out to right. It's about, hitting balls through the middle, hitting a good pitch with 2 strikes, taking what they give you. Just like yesterday when he drove in those first 2 runs with that, he took that pitch that was down and away and just hit a nice line drive over the shortstop's head with 2 outs. And all of a sudden we found ourselves with a 2-run lead. I mean, that's kind of the evolution that's been going on with his swing, and, they did a great job with him.
Was that really Bonfield's first
that's what somebody told me after the game. Luke said he could get it down. I've seen him. We work on Bont. He's in there with everybody else. It's hard to bunch a 3-hole hitter on the road. And that was my biggest thing, but he also might hit a one-hop line drive double play. And so we just did the safe route. We just figured kind of what we thought was going to happen. We're going to bunt him over, and then they're going to put Grant on, and then it's going to be up to Fletcher. Well, they decided to change pitchers and go after Grant with the slider, and it worked. I mean, he didn't have a good at bat at all. The first pitch is the ball he should have hit, and he left it go right down the middle. And then the next two pitches were nasty, and they got him. And so we were fortunate that Carson had such a big at bat. But yeah, I think it's the first one in his career, and there might have been a time that he needed a bunt, and I pulled him and put somebody in the bunt for him, because that was almost the case, because he's the DH, and we felt like this was going to be our shot to win this game.
Was it Murphy, Lee, or Lowski? I mean, what's your
Yeah, well, when I left to come over here, it was flipped back and forth from Lowski to Murphy to Lowski. You're gonna see a bunch tomorrow. You'll probably see 5 or 6 both days. So I don't know which one we're starting. Probably know here in a little bit. I need to go back and talk to Coach Johnson a little bit. He was flip-flopping, and we're trying to get more information on Grand Canyon. And their top of their lineup's pretty good. When you look at their batting average, we got one guy almost hitting 400. So right, some left-handed hitters. So we're try to figure out how to pitch them.
What did you think of Shaddy's approach on that at bat going the other way?
Well, his approach was different than his other at bats. He wasn't trying to drive the ball. He was just trying to, square one up enough to get a line drive through the middle, and he stayed back on that ball, and he kept his hands inside the ball. And right when it left the bat, we knew it was hit, and it was a mature approach. Let's put it that way. And he knew what he had to do, and he did it. And he had a bad day. I mean, the frustration from him offensively when he'd come back in the dugout. The previous at bat, he got called out on strike 3 with the full count, and it was 2 balls low. It was a bad call, and he was so upset about it because he had not had a good day, and he felt like he had done everything right, and then the guy banged him on it. And all I could tell him was, hey, the ball's 2 pitches low. If it had been 1 pitch low, I'd have told him, hey, that's too close, but I have a good angle right there. I can't tell if it's over the plate or not, but I can tell if it's high or low, and that was definitely low. And he hadn't called that pitch really all day. And so for him to stay through that ball and just do what he needed to do to make contact was really a really great job by him.
What do you think about the conference right now? Because it seems like some of the teams near the top are the ones that weren't predicted to be there in the preseason.
That's because a lot of time people don't really know what they're doing when they're ranking those teams, to be honest with you, bluntly. Kentucky got their whole offensive team back. They told us in the offseason they have one of the best hitting teams they've ever had, and it's showing. Now some guys are pitching good. In Missouri, they have their whole team back. They got a new coach. They brought in a couple of guys. They got a superstar on Friday. I mean, they're a good team. I mean, obviously the South Carolina, they got all that pitching, but they're not hitting real good. And, Ole Miss was projected real high. Well, they have a really good team. They can really pitch, but their team batting average is 233. I mean, you could go on and on. I don't think I think it is what it is. I think everybody's good. Some teams are better at something than the other. Example, they're really good pitching or really good hitting. But so far, the teams that have come away and found ways to win on Sunday are the ones that have climbed up a little bit. And A&M, they have replaced a lot of people, and they projected them high. But they're playing a lot of freshmen, and they got fortunate, scored 4 in the top of the 9th. The winner, they'd be 1-8. So it's nothing surprises me in the league, but I just think that there were a couple of teams that were maybe misdiagnosed by a lot of people that know baseball. They're good teams.